Out here ain't for nothing, man. We trying to get our salvation, trying to save ourselves from the coming destruction.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like, when you look at gold and how, because there's a scripture, can't really, somewhere in the New Testament it says that in a house of honor, there's not only vessels of gold and silver, but of wood. You know, you got different forms, but when you look at gold and these, you know, you don't just have a bar, you know, just a stumpy bar of gold in your house, man. It's formed. Yeah. You make it nice. You polish it. You smooth it out. You get the edges out, and that's what the Lord is doing with us. He's molding us through that affliction that we're going through, those fiery trials, and forming us into something glorious, man.
You know, the refining stage, well, gold is, if it's like 14 karat, 18 karat,
yep,
you know other metals are in there. Mm-hmm. So when you refine it, you have to pour acid on it. Okay, after you
get it out, yeah,
you have to pour acid. It's a process of pouring acid until it becomes dust, until it becomes powder. But when you melt it again, it comes back in that metal form, which is peculiar. You know, it's you know, it's a I don't want to say crazy process, but it's a special process that it goes through.
Yeah, it's a long process too, and
yeah, it is.
And you also, you gotta forge it. You know, you gotta forge the metal, so you beat it.
Yeah.
You know, just look at us, man. We're getting beat. You know, we're getting.
Every day.
You know.
And there's levels.
Every day.
There's levels to this truth too, because you got the brothers that are gold, then you got the brothers that are silver, precious stones. Then you got the ones that don't make it, the wood, hay, stuff. I think they said hay. Yeah, so it's levels to this. It's levels to this truth too, man. And throughout the levels, everybody getting refined and get put at a certain level, man. All the prophets didn't have the same length in books. Certain prophets was given just a certain amount to prophesy about, man.
Say he gave them their lot.
God gave them their lots. So,
go ahead.
Fuck it. This is Proverbs.
You know, because you got guys that, well, that's the ill, or it ain't even about that, man. It's about whom the Lord called and it being levels to this thing, man. Everybody giving a lot.
This is Proverbs 25:4. It says, "Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer." And then there's a video of dross being removed. You know, so the dross being removed from silver, so it can become fine.
Dross is impurity that's within metal, that's within gold or silver. Dross is the part that you don't want. And you gotta heat it up to like a 500 degree and burn the impurities out of particular metals so it can actually be refined. So that's what that scripture, read that Proverbs 25:4.
This is Proverbs 25:4. It says, "Take away the dross from the silver."
Taking away the dross from the silver, you gotta heat it up. You gotta, in order to take the dross away, you gotta put the silver in hot lava, so to speak, and it's gonna get rid of all the dross from it. I think you gotta pour charcoal on top of it, and it gets the dross out of the real silver. That's the impurity, the part that don't want, that you don't need, like the dregs of wine.
All that is us going through our little refining process through our daily lives, the tribulations, us sitting studying to make ourselves perfect individuals.
Yep.
You know, because you know the pastors will say what the law done away with, you're not saved by grace, or a lot of them don't even include the Old Testament. It's plenty of philosophies out there, but all the Lord is doing is perfecting us, man. He got us refining ourselves, building our spirits up by the way of His Word, and strengthening our faith throughout the tribulations that's going on, man. That's what's going on, because the Lord wants us to be perfect, until as perfect as we can be. You know, because we rehearsing the righteous acts, man, until He come back.
And it's to rule a kingdom.
So, like, if you was committing adultery in the world, when you come in the truth, the Lord don't want you to commit adultery in the truth. That's that refinement. That's that purging.
This is we have. Do you still have a precept?
No, that's not.
Okay, this is Romans 8:18. It says, "For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us." You know, so what we're going through you can't even compare it to the glory that we're going to receive, you know. And like the scriptures say, man, wherever we were ashamed, okay, and lo, the Lord is going to turn it. He's going to turn it just as fast as it happened. He's going to turn it away from us. It's going to be really fast, man, you know. But that's why we're going through all these sufferings. So to be purged, to be clean, for His sake. Because He's not going to deal with no polluted nation, man. You're not just going to let anybody come in this thing, man. Everybody ain't going to be, that's why everybody ain't going to be saved. You know, for many were called, a few are chosen. Then when you go into the parable of the straight gate, you know, only man can go in one at a time, you know. Forget
the scriptures say unrighteousness shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. Effeminate shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven. Idolatry shall not inherit the kingdom of heaven.
Feminine. Meaning, and that goes back to being faithless. 1 and 5.
It's the second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 73. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire."
So our everyday afflictions, us having to deal with our women, the trouble in the flesh, our bosses, our cars, people trying to cheat us and stuff like that. Oh, well, read that again.
It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire."
My bad. That's when all this hell breaks loose. We're going to get tried with the RFID chip. We're going to get tried with the race riots, and not being able to eat and whatnot. When all hell break loose, we still got to sit here and suffer this too.
It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same."
The elect, the chosen, man. There's the chosen that's getting delivered. Everybody's not gonna be saved, you know. That's why the elders keep. That's why the elders keep coming down on what's his name? Them for trying to invite everybody to the Passover. That the Passover ain't for everybody.
Oh, because they're still in that spirit that we're just gonna get together and settle our differences. Well, with Apostle Tahar in the live stream last week, he said, "Hey, you know, when we get in the kingdom, that's when we're gonna be
together,
united and perfect. You know, and we're gonna have that love for one another. All these different groups, you know, no matter what." He said, even folk people, you know, when we get in the kingdom, that's when things are gonna be. We're gonna be united.
Go back to the other scripture there. I'm going. Second measures.
Yeah, man, that's for the kingdom. It ain't for this side, man. Because scriptures say, "Can two walk together except there be agreed?" We can't agree on the same doctrine, you know, so we can't walk together.
This is back in 2 Ezra 16:73. "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire."
So they're going to be tested as a gold in the fire. Just going back to that Proverbs 25:4, going back to that video that I was just showing, you're going to be getting put in fire, meaning difficult situations to test your might, to test if you're still going to be down with this. That's why the scripture says, "Shall I not find faith on earth?" Because the thing that's going to come across is either to make you or it's to break you. It's either to make you or to break you. Gold being the top,
Purest metal.
Yeah, purest metal. You're going to be tried as gold, meaning you're going to have a lot of heat on your ass to see if you're actually made of gold. So when you go through certain situations and you pass it, okay, and you pass your whatever situation that you was in, whether you know you down in the spirit, you know, whether you get faced with the chip, whether it's concentration camps, whether your family get taken, whether you got to get beheaded, you have to go through that. That's your trial.
Right.
And you got to have patience. What does the word patience go back to? Suffering. So you're going to have to suffer a lot of things in the last times. It's just to see if you're actually made to be worthy enough to get that crown put upon your head. That's the goal. Try. Go ahead.
It says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand.
See? Go ahead.
But I will deliver you from the same."
So you got to have faith that you're going to get delivered throughout whatever situation you're gonna be across. Our names is gonna be put up on news. What's one of the biggest news stations? CNN. Imagine your name and your picture, you and your garment, you breaking down scriptures, all on CNN. It's already happened. It's foreshadowing things to come. That happened a year ago with the Jump Out Boys. You know, they was all over the news. So they will try to see if they was gonna continue doing this. Whether we believe that they sold out, some may have not. Yeah. Regardless, it's gonna get on a global scale. They just threw it out there just to test to see what was gonna happen. Christians, they didn't pick it up. They didn't give a damn. The world didn't really care. So now let's let something else more detrimental happen, such as rape. The rape topic. All right, or they have a agent provocateur come in and kill a brother and pin the murder on you. Anything. That's gonna be your trial. Or brothers being falsely accused, all right, and facing prison life sentences, or even facing death. Go ahead.
It says, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your God."
See, the Most High is your power, so you gotta believe in your power. You gotta believe in the man above. And then when you have a complete understanding of the scriptures, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time. Well, then you know 1 Corinthians 10:13, no temptation taking you such as common to man, but the will of the Most High will make a way for you to escape it. So there goes your faith.
Yeah.
You got to know that these scriptures is what's going to hold you into reassuring you that the Lord said He's not going to leave His elect out here, out here like the rest.
Yeah.
So this is all about faith. The trials that you go through is to test your faith. Go ahead, 1 Corinthians.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9. It says, "For we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are the Most High's husbandry. Ye are the Most High's building.
Go ahead.
According to the grace of the Most High, which
That's
is..."
what we doing out here. It's like we labor. We got labor, man. In the spirit, how much you shot.
"According to the grace of the Most High, which is given unto me, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon."
So the foundation has been laid through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Alright? So let every man take heed on how he build. What are you putting in your spirit? Is you putting in prophecy? Is you putting in daily news events? Is you measuring the time? Or are you worried about getting a wife and getting married? Are you worried about how the black woman can gain her hair back? Are you worried about the Passover lets everybody gather together? So take heed on how you're building your foundation when it comes to this truth, which is what? Counting the costs. Somebody want to get that about counting the costs.
It says, "For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid."
Right, Yahweh Shai already has his foundation laid, and He built it upon Peter. Who is that Who is that rock? That the gates of hell shall not come against, which is the wickedness of this world. The gates of hell is basically the things that's to try you to see if you're solid. And if you are, you're going to get through it. Go ahead.
It says, "Which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Now if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest."
Right, because gold is the top, then you got silver. And then you go down to the undesirables. You may endure for a little bit, a little heat get on you. You may endure for a little while. But once you start going into different years and different more spirits coming attacking you, whether it be a doctrine, whether it be family, whether it be your own personal demons that's fucking with you, whether it be pride, you know, you're going to see what are you really made of in that last day. Alright, go ahead. Are you studying enough? Because if you don't study, you know, you're really not going to be equipped with the knowledge of what was going to take place. If you're not reading about, you're going to get put to death. If you're not reading about the chariots that's coming to destroy this place. If you're not reading about prophecy. If you're not reading that you have to be hated.
You won't be stable.
You ain't going to be stable when it happens. You're going to fall out. You're going to bug out. Then you're going to be offended at the gospel. You're going to be offended at that cornerstone. Which is Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Because ultimately, those are faith builders.
Yeah.
You hearing the word as a faith builder, man.
That's the comfort.
You're not hearing the word just to be hearing it, man. And you know, just to be walking it, it's supposed to build your faith up.
Supposed to have understanding.
Come.
Supposed to understand.
Get Hebrews 4:1 real quick.
Ultimately, supposed
Going back to what I'm going to just say. Hebrews 4:1.
understand what's taking place and why it's taking place.
Because
To fulfill the will of the Lord, man.
Yep. Hebrews 4:1.
But you can endure too when that time comes. It says, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. So you have to study. Something that they take up out of Jake's mind, how to study.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest.
The promise was for the elect to get the kingdom. The promise was for Israel to be that seed, beginning with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to get delivered to enter into whose rest? The Lord's rest, which is ultimately the kingdom. Go ahead.
Any of you should seem to come short of it.
Because we all go off, we all fall short of the glory, so to speak. Because we're in the flesh. But go ahead.
For unto us was the gospel preached,
Right?
as well as unto them.
So those other Israelites that know the truth, the gospel is preaching to all of us. Go ahead.
But the word preached did not profit them.
See? It didn't profit them. Why? Go ahead.
Not being mixed with faith.
Because they didn't have the faith. Going back to what I'm saying. So we all heard the word. It's about if you believe in it, if you have faith in it. Because like I said, you can endure for 2 or 3 years, or hell, even 4 years. But once that heat starts to get up on your ass more and more, it's gonna be found out that you really didn't even have faith in it, because the scripture said these things was gonna happen. So when that fire hits you, you become that wood or that hay or that stubble, and your works is gonna be known in the last days that you really wasn't really down for this. Here it is, you out on the highways and hedges, and you talking about the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip, but then your ass take the chip when adversity comes. Go ahead.
Not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Going back to what I'm saying, you can hear the word. It ain't just about hearing it. You gotta have faith in what you're hearing. You gotta have faith in what you're reading. Go ahead.
For we which have believed do enter into rest.
So the ones that believe is the ones who will get the kingdom. The ones that have the faith is the ones that's gonna receive the glory. Go ahead.
As he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise.
That's it. Go ahead and go back to 1 Corinthians.
This is back in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, every man's work shall be made manifest.
See? Everything that you done did on this earth, in this physical body, when it comes to this truth, is going to be made manifest. Go ahead.
For the day shall declare it.
Yeah, what day? The day of the Lord's coming. Go ahead.
Because it shall be revealed by fire.
And what is the fire? What is also the fire? The fire is the word. That's what the fire is.
And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is.
See? So when you put your hand to the plow, when you put your hand to this truth, and you open up that Bible, it begins right there. That fire begins to hit you. The rebukes, the bitter.
Yeah.
You may get put to death for this. Your family's gonna hate you. You know, you may be labeled as a murderer, a child molester. You know, your faith is gonna have to be stronger that day to get through it, because wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. When you are stable, that's your foundation. When you look up the word stability, it's something that holds firmly. It's just like a foundation. So who is that holds you firmly? Yahushua. That's the foundation. Go ahead.
It says, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward.
Right. So if you build in the proper way, if you're going into prophecy, if you understand the concept of reincarnation, if you understand the scattered abroad, you know, if you understand the doctrine, the whole gospel on what's to come, race riots, you know, World War III, pestilence, you know, earthquakes in diverse places. So you would know these things. And within all that, you know that, hey, by default, your family members is gonna die. Yep. You gonna bug out when something happens to them? When your grandmother gets the bubonic plague, you know? Hell, maybe your wife may catch some. Maybe your child may catch some. We don't know, but just know things may happen.